YouTube. So last week's video was obviously the BRDC track day, and we had a customer's 570S, we had a customer's Huracan Evo and an AMG GTR Pro. What we have in today, which is going to be this week's video, is we have a wonderful hell green AMG GTR. So this particular one came to us 6 or 7 months ago. It's actually already running our stage 1 calibration. It's back in with us. He's already installed, customer's already installed the Eventuri intakes, and we will be installing 200 cell sports cat downpipes. These really nice shielded units, so we'll get some footage and some images and stuff of those. So what we're currently doing, I'm actually going to be knocking the car back to factory settings, and I'm going to run it again. We're going to log everything as if it's a fresh car. Obviously it's now got the intakes on them, so I want to be logging everything of how the car's behaving now. It's had a few track days, it's had a few extra miles put on it, so it's always worth just starting afresh. After the exhaust system is on, we will get it back on the dyno and we will be calibrating, which will be for stage 2. So we will see more power and torque again on top of what we saw with stage 1. This is a pre-facelift, so this is a non-OPF car, so these actually sound really good from factory already. The sports cat downpipes will have 200 cell sports cats, and the secondary cats will be removed in that unit. So it's going to be a nice little step up again when it comes to volume and also that AMG Thunder. So yeah, stay tuned. Right, car is in and it is strapped up. Obviously cooling super important with any vehicle, big powerful V8s even more so. So 1 second, I'll spin you around. Got our little shooters that we made ourselves specifically to pump high pressure air straight into these auxiliary coolers. You just need to make sure there's so much air running through these things. Anything turbocharged obviously is very much charge temperature sensitive, so you're just constantly managing temperatures to make sure, because if the charge temperature, these run a water to air charge cooling system, so you want to do everything you can to keep that charge temperature down to help not only produce power but to produce it reliably and also to produce it consistently. So that is why we made these things. We can literally just pump them straight in. Obviously the whole cell itself acts as a big fan, so we've constantly got fresh air coming in, fresh air feed from the top and from the front of the door, and we're literally pulling all of the hot air out of the back of the cell. So yeah, next will be a couple of setup runs. Car's still pretty warm, these stay warm for a long time, but it's more get the transmission back up to temperature, tyres back up to temperature, and then we'll see exactly where it's sat now. 575 is what this produced last time stock, which these are booked at 577. So I mean, it was within under 2 horsepower. So if we went through all of the other, because we've done so many R's and R Pros, if we were to go through all the other ones, they are all within a couple of horsepower of OEM claimed. We see people and they're like 630 horsepower stock or 640 horsepower stock. That is literally nonsense, absolute nonsense. Yeah, so I will see what it's running now. We are inside the car. This is a pre-facelift, so it has the older shaped steering wheel, and we are going to put it into dynamometer mode. So what happens with these, they've got the multi-stage traction control button, but it is not dyno mode. So interestingly enough, I've never actually done this before, I tested it a second ago. Start the car, chuck it in race, press an old traction off, that then activates you to then be allowed to select the multi-stage traction control. Turned it all the way off, car wouldn't even come out of first gear. So the car obviously knows straight away, it sees no movement from the front wheel speed sensors, and it just says, no, you're not shifting gear. Funnily enough, that's exactly what the 911s, GT3s and GT3 RSs do as well. Unless it's in dyno mode, it will let you run first gear with traction off, and it won't allow you to engage second. So what we're going to do Right, one ignition click, so the dash isn't fully alive. Then you want to show the total mileage, and then it's cool, okay, press and hold both, and then it activates dynamometer. Then you go dynamometer test, tick the box, fire the car up, and then you'll see traction, ABS, everything off, active brake assists. It literally tells you everything that's off. EBD, ABS, traction control unavailable, diagnostic rig test mode. So this is how you test these things properly. Right guys, join me on board. Everything's synced up. Everything's back up to temperature. I thought we'd get a little run on board so you can hear it. Ready? Go! This is stock exhaust, so just you guys wait. Right, so off the dyno, she's having a bit of a cool down. So yeah, 575 horsepower, 792 newton meters of torque is what it did last time in stock form. This time, stock calibration, but with the Eventuris, 597, 817. So that has picked up 20. So that has picked up 22 horsepower, and I think about 25 newton meters of torque. So it has actually made a difference. When we installed our Eventuris, we'd not changed anything with the calibration. So ours was running our stage 2 software calibration, downpipes, blow-off valves, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and we saw 18 horsepower from just an Eventuri change. So yeah, they absolutely do work. Checking from the logs, I can see that wastegate duty is a lot happier compared to previous. I can see, so basically the turbos are not having to do as much work to produce the same amount, or to produce the power. You only gain horsepower and torque through efficiencies, and obviously it's just the way the air is getting to the turbos is just way more efficient. I know people will probably say, well, it's a different day, all that sort of stuff. That's not really a case with dynos when they're set up correctly. Our dyno has a weather station, so it's constantly correcting. If the day is really hot and the car obviously is tackling heat, it will bring the number up. If the day is really, really cool, and the car is producing lots of power, which it should when the conditions are that good, then it actually penalizes you. So the amount of correction, and that's a correction that we can't change, that's just happening all the time. And we're talking like minute fractions of a percent. So the fact that we're seeing 22 horsepower, that is more than a fraction of a percent. So yeah, fantastic, really happy with that. So what I'll probably do now, got to get it round to the other workshop before we start surgery. And we will, I think I'll get some drone footage because it's a gorgeous looking car. secondary cats removed. So on the facelift car, that would be 200 cell sports cats and the OPFs removed. To be fair, I just completely forgot to film this morning, so I'm actually nearly done with it now. We're already on 682 horsepower. When it was on stage 1, it was on, I can't remember, 650 something. So I reckon we'll be in the 690s quite comfortably in the next revision or two. So it sounds brilliant. I mean, they sound really good before. Also, what I've done, because we've got the GT Blackseries here at the same time, that's running a full Super Sprint exhaust. And what I've done is I've done a revving video where you can hear the difference between the differences in obviously the cranks of the engines. So you get the Black Series is a lot more, how can I explain it? Like, it sounds more traditionally revvy. These obviously just sound thundery. So you'll be able to hear a good comparison. The Black Series is running, I think it was 2 sets of 100 cell race cats. This is running 1 set of 200 cell sports cats. So as far as volume goes, they're really quite comparable, but you'll really be able to hear the difference between the cranks, between the cross plane and flat plane crank. I'll probably just take you on board now for another pull. So yeah. Right, you join me inside it again. These just sound amazing. You just can't beat an AMG V8. So, let's get going. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Let's have a bit of window action, shall we? Right. 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah. Brutal. I will quickly finish up what I'm doing and I'll show you the results. I'll show you what it was doing before. So obviously now it's got the Renntech blow-off valves. Customer had already installed those, I think, previously when we'd stage 1'd it. It's now got the Eventuri intakes, now running our 200 cell sports cat downpipes. Fully heat shielded, because you've just got to keep that heat away from any other component you can. So yeah, I'll show you the bits now. Right, you join me. I've popped you on top of the computer cabinet of the dyno. So, hold on, I'll make sure I don't knock the camera. Glovies off. So, originally, let me bring you up here. Originally when it first came in, 575 horsepower. and stage 1 it did 658. Let me just cover this. So that's what it did when it first came to us. Now, with the Eventuri intake, it went from 575 to 597. So what probably would have happened if I'd have kept running it yesterday with the stock calibration back on it, it would have eventually, all the wastegate duty would have sorted everything out, and it probably would have pulled that number back down. It's usually what happens. The car sees that targets are being met without it having to do as much work. But now, with everything dialed in, so 597, 692 horsepower. Uncorrected, that was actually, I think, 701 horsepower it pulled uncorrected. The dyno has a weather station built in. The conditions are flipping better than perfect in the cell, so you actually get penalised for it. It actually says, well, you should be doing really well. Conditions are excellent. Air's, you know, moist, dense, cool, everything that an engine would like. So customer is going to be over the moon. Throughout the video I will sprinkle, I don't know, little B-roll bits and like drone footage and all that sort of stuff. I'll knock in the bits with the Black Series as well. You may have already seen that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next one.